If anyone truly needs a fresh start, it's Todd. The last year has been nothing short of a nightmare, largely due to his abusive husband Theo Silverton, a manipulative narcissist who subjected him to relentless emotional, financial, and physical harm. With help and encouragement from those close to him, Todd finally found the courage to walk away from Theo last week, a decision that led to a frightening assault. Following a brutal attack that left him injured and shaken, Todd officially reported Theo to the authorities and was later granted a restraining order. Theo has now become completely unwelcome on the street. Kit Green has warned him that any attempt to go near Todd will lead to arrest, while George Shuttleworth and Gary Windass have both issued serious threats toward him, something Theo is desperate to avoid, especially as he's one of the potential victims in the upcoming Coronation Street whodunit storyline. After opening up to his mother about the abuse, Todd was persuaded by George that taking a break might help him recover, suggesting he spend some time in Thailand with Eileen Grimshaw and his brother Jason. Todd agreed, arranged his travel plans, and began packing his belongings on the day of Carla Connor and Lisa Swain's wedding. However, just as he was preparing to leave Weatherfield, attention shifted to a mysterious figure working on scaffolding above his flat, their face hidden beneath a helmet and partially concealed by a plank. Naturally, fans immediately suspected the person lurking above was Theo. Sadly, that suspicion proves correct, as teased in a tense preview showing a dramatic confrontation between Todd and his abuser. While speaking on the phone to George, Todd expresses frustration about a broken window, blaming it on random vandals, though he can't shake the feeling that Theo might be responsible. Clearly unsettled, Todd becomes even more eager to leave for Thailand and put everything behind him. He reassures George that he's all right and promises to meet him soon before ending the call, only to suddenly come face to face with Theo, who chillingly questions whether he's heading somewhere nice. The show has already hinted that a violent clash follows, but George arrives just in time to intervene and protect Todd. Although the situation escalates, they manage to get away safely. They report the break-in to Kit, but by the time he reaches the flat, Theo has already disappeared. Determined to escape, Todd gets into a taxi bound for the airport, only to realize he's left his phone behind. He quickly steps out and heads back, only to encounter Theo once again, standing there with a smirk and holding the missing phone. Could Todd be pushed so far that he takes drastic, even deadly action to finally free himself from Theo? Coronation Street character Sarah Barlow is set to uncover something troubling next week as she becomes entangled in a risky situation on the cobbles. The much-anticipated murder mystery episodes bring intense drama across Weatherfield, with Sarah emerging as a key figure as chaos unfolds inside the Platt household. In the upcoming episodes, each of the 5 potential victims takes the spotlight in their own installment. Theo on Monday, Carl on Tuesday, Jody on Wednesday, followed by Maggie and Megan on Thursday. By Friday, all the storylines collide, finally revealing who meets a tragic end. It's during this climactic episode that Sarah gets pulled into the unfolding crisis. Official spoilers indicate that the long-running favorite becomes caught in the crossfire of a violent break-in at home. Early release images show Sarah visibly shaken inside the Platt residence, where signs of disruption are clear, including an overturned chair. She is also seen holding Jody Ramsey's keepsake box, an item filled with dark and revealing secrets. Could this be the moment she realizes that Shona's cunning sister is not to be trusted? It remains unclear whether those behind the disturbance are still nearby or have already fled the scene. Sarah is tied to 2 major storylines next week, including her ongoing conflict with Theo following his abusive actions toward Todd Grimshaw. With Theo intent on causing harm to Todd and those around him, there's a strong chance he could clash with Sarah once again. She may also become entangled in Jody's escalating problems, as the mysterious newcomer brings danger to the street when suspicious men arrive searching for a stolen hard drive. Speaking about the upcoming episodes, the show's producer explained that each installment during Murder Week was designed to feel like a short film. The mystery of not knowing who the victim is adds a layer of intrigue, while also allowing for lighter, humorous moments, particularly in Jody's episode. One storyline features David in a heavily intoxicated state, leading to several laugh-out-loud moments thanks to the actor's strong comedic performance. Sally and Tim also contribute to the chaos with plenty of entertaining antics, while the storyline occasionally returns to the wedding scenes, adding variety and balance to the narrative. The creative team behind each episode ensured that while the week feels bold and different, it still retains the classic Corrie tone. A standout soundtrack also enhances the experience, with each episode opening in a memorable and energetic way. Coronation Street sees Debbie finally confront Carl as his most despicable scheme yet begins to unravel. The storyline surrounding Carl Webster has long frustrated viewers, with his past actions including sabotaging his brother Kevin's marriage by pursuing his wife Abby, only to later betray her when he lost interest, and being responsible for the hit and run that left Tyrone Dobbs wheelchair-bound. However, his worst offense came with the devastating Corriedale crash. Driving while intoxicated, Carl caused a horrific multi-vehicle collision that led to the death of Billy Mayhew before placing the vulnerable Debbie, who suffers from dementia, behind the wheel and manipulating her into accepting the blame. While some might argue that the revelation Debbie is actually Carl's mother rather than his sister adds context to his behavior, it does little to excuse his actions. Allowing her to plead guilty and go to prison, where her condition worsened rapidly, only highlights his cruelty. One might expect Carl to show remorse and try to repair their relationship once Debbie was released. Instead, he wasted no time returning to his old ways, immediately seeking financial help to cover debts caused by his reckless decisions. Because Debbie had hidden the truth about their relationship for so long, she feels a deep sense of guilt, making it difficult for her to refuse his demands. Others on the street, however, are far less forgiving. Ronnie Bailey, Debbie's husband, quickly sees through Carl's act, recognizing that his true aim is to gain control of the valuable Chariot Square Hotel for his own benefit. He has even teamed up with Kevin in an effort to push Carl out of their lives. Despite repeated warnings, Debbie continued to support Carl until now. After being confronted by Summer Spellman, who suspected Carl's involvement in the crash, Debbie struggled with the weight of keeping the truth hidden. When Carl later offered to reveal the real culprit behind Billy's death in exchange for £10,000, it became the breaking point. Exhausted by the emotional strain he had caused, tensions escalated further when Ronnie, having already warned Carl to leave, lashed out and struck him, leaving him on the cobbles. Although Ronnie did not intend to seriously harm him, the situation took a shocking turn when Debbie received news that Carl had been taken to hospital. At the hospital, Debbie confronted him, but Carl quickly twisted the situation to portray himself as the victim of Ronnie's aggression. To his frustration, Debbie refused to take his side, reminding him that he was far from innocent. Even after everything she sacrificed for him, Carl dismissed her actions, claiming they were insignificant compared to the years she kept his true parentage secret. Refusing to accept blame for his life choices, Debbie stood her ground and reminded him of his promise to support her no matter what. Unmoved, Carl escalated the situation further by threatening to report Ronnie for assault. In that moment, Debbie finally accepted that her son was beyond redemption, questioning whether he was capable of change but simply unwilling to try. The remark appeared to affect Carl deeply, but his vulnerability quickly turned to bitterness as he stooped even lower by attempting to blackmail his own mother. He warned that unless she gave up what she valued most, Ronnie could face serious consequences. The show airs on weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available for streaming on ITVX.